Hi everyone, welcome back to IELTS time. In today's lesson, we're going to look at a part 1 topic, library. You'll hear 2 mock interviews. The speakers have different backgrounds and lifestyles, but both handle the questions very effectively. Let's start with our first speaker, Joseph.
How often do you go to the library?
I usually go to the library 2 or 3 times a week during the semester. When exams are approaching, I might go almost every day because it helps me maintain a routine. It's become a regular part of my university life.
What do you usually do when you are in the library?
Most of the time, I study or work on assignments there. I often review lecture notes, write essays, or prepare for presentations. Occasionally, I also borrow academic books that aren't easily available online.
Do kids in your country often go to the library?
I think fewer kids go to libraries than in the past. Many still visit for school projects or exam preparation, but for leisure reading, they tend to rely more on digital devices. Libraries are no longer their first choice for entertainment.
Do you prefer to study at home or in a library?
I strongly prefer studying in the library, the quiet atmosphere, and seeing other students working around me really helps me stay focused. At home, I get distracted far too easily.
Would you ever like to work in a library? Why or why not?
I'd be happy to work in a library part-time while studying. It's peaceful and suits my personality. That said, I don't see it as a long-term career because I'd like a job with more interaction and variety in the future.
Do you enjoy going to the library?
Yes, I genuinely enjoy it. I find the environment calm and motivating. It's one of the few places where I can fully concentrate without feeling stressed.
When was the last time you visited a library?
I went there just 2 days ago. I had a group assignment to finish, and the library provided a quiet space where we could discuss ideas without distractions. We ended up staying there for several hours.
Is there a library near where you live?
Yes, there is. The main university library is about a 10-minute walk from my apartment, which is extremely convenient. Because of that, I often choose it over studying at home.
Did you use the library a lot when you were a child?
Not really. I only went occasionally, mainly when teachers required us to do research projects. At that time, I preferred reading at home or borrowing books from friends.
Do you think libraries are still important today?
Definitely. Even though information is easily accessible online, libraries offer a quiet learning environment that's hard to replace. They also provide free access to resources, which is especially important for students.
That was a really solid performance from Joseph. His answers are clear, focused, and easy to follow. He doesn't rush, but he also doesn't overthink his responses, and each answer feels personal and realistic. Now let's compare that with our second speaker, Blondie, who has a very different lifestyle. How often do you go to the library?
To be honest, I probably go about once or twice a month. Since I finished my degree, I don't need to be there daily, but I still love heading over on a Saturday morning to browse the new arrivals or find a quiet corner to get some personal admin done, away from the distractions of home.
What do you usually do when you are in the library?
It's a mix, really. Most of the time, I'm there to hunt for a specific book or just get lost in the fiction section. However, if I have a big project or need to focus intensely on something, I'll use the quiet study zones. There's something about the collective silence that really helps me stay on track.
Do kids in your country often go to the library?
I'd say so, especially younger children. Most local libraries have these fantastic dedicated kids' zones with beanbags and storytelling hours. It's a popular weekend activity for parents to take their little ones to pick out picture books, though I think as they get into their teens, they tend to visit less unless they're cramming for exams.
Do you prefer to study at home or in a library?
I'm definitely a library person when it comes to serious work. At home, the fridge and the TV are far too tempting, and I find myself procrastinating. In a library, because everyone else is being productive, I feel a bit of positive peer pressure to keep my head down and actually get things finished.
Would you ever like to work in a library? Why or why not?
I've actually given this some thought. I think I'd enjoy the curation aspect of it. Organising collections and helping people discover new authors. Sounds lovely. That said, I'm a fairly social person, so I might find the strict no-talking rules a bit stifling if I had to do it for 40 hours a week.
Do you enjoy going to the library?
I really do. There's a certain nostalgia and peace about libraries. In a world that's so digital and fast-paced, walking into a room full of physical books feels very grounding. It's one of the few places left where you aren't expected to spend money, just to exist.
When was the last time you visited a library?
It was actually just last Tuesday. I had to print out some legal documents, and my printer at home was acting up, as they always do. While I was there, I ended up picking up a thriller that caught my eye on the staff picks shelf, so it was a productive trip.
Is there a library near where you live?
Yes, I'm quite lucky. There's a branch library just a 10-minute walk from my apartment. It's not the biggest one in the city, but it's modern, has great Wi-Fi, and the staff are incredibly helpful. It's a real cornerstone of our local community.
Did you use the library a lot when you were a child?
Absolutely. My mum used to take my siblings and me every Friday after school. It was the highlight of my week. I remember the excitement of having my own library card and feeling so grown up, being able to check out 5 books at a time. I think that's where my love for reading really started.
Do you think libraries are still important today?
Indisputably. While many people think they're becoming obsolete because of the internet, libraries have reinvented themselves. They provide essential services like free internet access, community workshops, and a safe space for people from all walks of life. They aren't just about books anymore. They're about equal access to information.
Blondie's answers feel quite different in tone, but they're just as effective. She speaks in a relaxed, conversational way and uses personal details to bring her answers to life. Nothing sounds rehearsed. It feels like a genuine conversation. Before we wrap up, let's take a look at some useful vocabulary that came up in the interviews. These are expressions you can use naturally when talking about libraries. When you talk about how often you go to the library, it helps to be specific. For example, you can say you go once or twice a month or 2 or 3 times a week. You can also connect this to your habits by saying that going to the library helps you maintain a routine. This makes your answer sound more organised and realistic. To describe what you do in the library, use concrete actions. You can say you hunt for a specific book, get lost in the fiction section, or browse the new arrivals. Some people also use the library to get some personal admin done, like printing documents or organising paperwork. When talking about studying, focus-related phrases are very effective. You can say the library helps you stay on track, or that you keep your head down and actually get things finished. During exam periods, it's also natural to mention cramming for exams. You can also describe how the environment affects you. Phrases like collective silence or positive peer pressure explain why libraries help you concentrate. They show how the people and atmosphere around you influence your behaviour. When comparing studying at home and in a library, it's common to talk about distractions. You might say things at home are too tempting, or that you end up procrastinating. This contrast makes your preference for the library sound logical and convincing. If you're asked about children and libraries, you can mention fantastic, dedicated kids zones with beanbags and storytelling hours. These details help your answer sound specific and grounded in real experience. That's it for today's lesson on libraries. We've looked at how different speakers answer Part 1 questions and how you can use natural, everyday vocabulary to make your own answers clearer and more personal. The goal isn't to sound impressive, it's to sound real. Choose expressions that fit your life, practice saying them out loud, and focus on explaining your ideas simply and confidently. If you found this lesson helpful and want more guided speaking practice like this, consider joining our membership. You'll get access to exclusive speaking videos with natural model answers and structured practice. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.